Welcome everyone. Today's adventure is going to take us to Key West, Florida. I'm going to be taking the Corvette. I haven't driven to Key West in ages, decades even. We'll see alligator Alcatraz, tiny key deer, an insane sunset at Mallory Square, and so much more. So this is really going to be fun. You see I'm protecting my head and just got a full tank of gas. We're ready to go. Here's the quirky Skunk Ape Museum. I've been driving about an hour with the top down, and it's a lot of Florida sunshine. So you can see I now put the top up, and we're going to continue on. We're about halfway to Miami on Tamiami Trail. Here's Alligator Alcatraz, guarded by a few law enforcement vehicles. At the Miccosukee Indian Village, you'll be able to make a rest stop if you'd like, get some gas, and see some interesting Everglades sights. And right now we're right around Homestead, and I saw this opulence garden, and this is my kind of place. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I just wanted to quick look at this. Look, there's a dinosaur there, and there's a big Medusa, and there's a space alien. I'm on my way to Key West, so I can't really shop around, but this is one of those cool roadside things that I just love. The giant flamingo, that thing stands about 9 feet tall. It's time to continue on to Key West. We made it to Key Largo, and you can see the Caribbean Club sign behind me. It says this is where the famous movie Key Largo was filmed, which is stretching the truth just a little bit. Most of it was filmed in California on a sound stage, but this is the 1948 movie filming location where Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall. This is where it all took place, apparently. Let's take a look inside. If this is supposed to be Bogey, it's not a very good likeness. So this is really more of Key Largo. They did some outdoor shots, some establishing shots. Nothing really in the bar or restaurant itself. It's awful pretty out here, isn't it? It's still a fun stop. I was able to refresh myself. Yes, I did get water. I'm driving. But a nice rest stop. The water is just crystal clear here. That's a huge fish. It's got to be 4 or 5 feet long. So apparently there used to be a restaurant and a hotel that was connected to this. And John Huston, when he was scoping the location or coming up with the story idea, actually stayed here and got stuck. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? And you're supposed to be able to see the door that's now a janitor's closet, but it used to connect to that hotel. So apparently this door here used to lead to the hotel and restaurant back in the 1940s. But of course, we're heading to Key West, so let's get moving. Well, I made it to Marathon Key, but we're gonna keep rolling. I'm on Big Pine Key, and behind me is No Name Bar. No Name, well, that's the name. No Name. And it's got an interesting history. It started in 1931 as a general store. Then about 5 years later, they added the restaurant. And a few years after that, to try to make some extra money, in the storage area on the second floor, they opened a brothel. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view, the brothel failed because it said that the fishermen were better looking than the women. Well, let's get inside. They have these tiny deer here, and they're only about the size of dogs. So there's one right there in the yard. You've seen a couple so far. This is an interesting place. The whole thing, every square inch of the roof and wall is filled with dollars. And I just walked outside and there was a deer. It couldn't have been 18 inches tall. Tiny little thing, just out in the parking lot. Starting out with the conch chowder. No, there's nothing colorful in there. It's just a reflection of the lights. But everything here is served on fine paper china. Looks like you can get some no-name pub souvenirs. If I can find out the origin and the story behind all these dollars, I'll let you know. So I got the Cuban sandwich, looks really good. And I come with what's called silver medallion French fries. So I did get the story of the dollars, and I'll tell you about it when we get outside. It's like a lot of stories, legends, myths. There are variations of why there are dollar bills hanging there. And the one that she shared, our waitress, was years ago, around 1980. The mechanics who used to repair the boats would come in, and they had staggered shifts. So what they would do, if they would come in and buy a drink, they would say, I'd like to buy a drink for my friend, my buddy, he'll be coming in a little later. And so they would write his name on a dollar and they would staple it to the wall. And it got to be kind of a running thing. You know, then they in turn would write a name and staple it on. And apparently that's how the tradition started. Now, as far as the food, nothing special, wasn't bad. I had a Cuban and the fries, and it was fine, but I certainly wouldn't recommend the place for the food, but more for the atmosphere, the ambiance. It's a quirky type of place here in the Keys. And now time to continue on to Key West. I'm going to continue my trip in with the top down. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day here in the Keys. For the record, it's illegal to feed or even touch the endangered key deer. And chickens are everywhere around here, or in this case, roosters. All right, we made it to Key West. And we made it to Key West. So we're gonna head down to Duval Street right now. I'm standing on the corner of Caroline Street and someplace, and we're just gonna kind of look around and have some fun. I'm only here for one short night. And here is the Hard Rock. So, what a different look for a Hard Rock Cafe, isn't it? It's really pretty quiet here, but it's early yet. Hasn't even been nightfall. I think I'll stick around and see if I can catch the sunset at Mallory Square, and then we'll see. I still have to drive home. Kermit's Key Lime. If I have a piece of key lime pie today, this is the place. Here we go, $3 for a t-shirt, almost free. And there is Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. And here's another place that does the dollar bill thing. They're all over the place. I think this is called Willie T's. Old Town Mexican Cafe looks like it's a hot ticket tonight. Look at this long line to get in. If you're not familiar with Mel Fisher, he's a treasure hunter, and he has a museum here, but this is just a shop, so let's take a look. Well, they said no videotaping in there, which I never understood, because I don't know, I think when people videotape and, it stirs up interest, and of course anybody could go in there and secretly videotape if they wanted to, but I had to respect her request. There's Wyland Galleries. He's the guy that does all those big whale walls. And this is pretty amazing. Oh, there's Jimmy. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. Well, it was fun, but as much as I like going into art stores, they tend to corral you and take a lot of time. And so I'm not going to go into too many more of the art stores because I want to get up and down and enjoy as much of Key West as I can. And there are chickens and roosters everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. And if you've been wanting a pie cigar, this is the place. I don't know what that would taste like. So you can't come to Key West without going to Southernmost Point. And here it is. There's a little bit of a line there, not too big. Maybe I'll get my picture or do a little video in front of it. Look at this. There's hardly anybody here. Here we are. I made it to the southernmost point of the USA. Look, baby chicks. All together now. Aww. And of course, there's sloppy joes. All right, so this is where the action is tonight down at Mallory Square. And there's some guy doing some kind of juggling, but it is quite a group here. I don't know what he did. He's collecting his money now, so it must have been worthwhile. I'm thirsty from all this walking, so I'm gonna grab a cold beverage and then go and watch the sunset. So here's to a beautiful Key West sunset. So I'm here in early May, and it's very, very quiet. There's enough people here for it to be fun, but not so many people that everything's crowded and you can't get up to, a bar. You couldn't get. You saw how quickly it was that I got my picture at the southernmost point. So this is really a great time of year to come down to Key West and enjoy yourself. The weather is not too hot yet. Very comfortable. The sunset's beautiful. So I would strongly encourage you to give it a try. I'm having a great time, and I hope that you enjoyed this short little visit as well.
Three, two, one. Yeah! I'm gonna do it.
Well, this was a fun trip. It was a fun visit to Key West. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. But it's not over. See where this road trip takes us on the next video. A classic tiki legend in Fort Lauderdale. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you here next time on the Average Me channel.